what's up everybody? It's Dane with Hip Hops. Thanks for tuning in. Today I'm going to be taste testing 608 Brewing's Grandpa's Liquor Cabinet, and I will be pairing that up with the Betty Ford Boys, leaders of the Brew School. So stay tuned. I'll taste test the beer, talk a little bit about the album, play some samples, and remember, if you could like and subscribe, it would help me a lot. All right, so 608 Brewing is located in La Crosse, Wisconsin, which is on the west side of Wisconsin, pretty far north up on Wisconsin. And this is Grandpa's Liquor Cabinet, which is a barrel-aged imperial stout that comes in at 12.5%, and it has on the label here single barrel blend. Word on the street is that it's J. Henry bourbon barrels, which is a distillery that's just north of Madison in Wisconsin. And so it spent over a year in those barrels. And the way I got this, because I'm pretty sure you had to get this just from the brewery, I met a guy named Joey on through Instagram, and he reached out to me. He lives in La Crosse, in the La Crosse area at least, and he said, hey, I want you to check out my local brewery. Can I send you some beers? And I said, of course. And I sent him some stuff back eventually, which I'm kind of bad about getting right back on things. But you can see here, it's got that like gray label with like the green tape with the handwritten stuff on there. And it does say keep cold, drink fresh. This isn't super fresh. I've had this, I think it came out in November, and I just been busy. I've been kept meaning to get to this one. So it doesn't smell hot at all, but you get the sweetness from the bourbon barrel. It's got like a caramelly with maybe a little bit of a heat on it, but it smells like it's gonna be a sweet barrel-aged stout. Not, and when I say sweet, you have to kind of like say not like it's a pastry stout. It doesn't smell that sweet. It's good body and a delicious flavor. It's hard to come by just non-adjuncted barrel-aged stouts, and this is reminiscent of years ago, what a lot of people came out with, but it's definitely a thick body. It's not really sticking to the glass, but it's got some legs on it. You can see where the legs on it from the 12.5%, and it feels very thick and viscous in the mouth. Yeah, I'm gonna love sipping on that. So I'll read it from the can here. It says, this bourbon barrel-aged imperial stout reminds us of the mysterious paint-taped label bottle of hooch in the back of Grandpa's liquor cabinet that he pulls out for the holidays. The recipe was always a secret, but it always brought more holiday cheer to family gatherings. And this is definitely a delicious beer that would bring plenty of cheer. So yeah, like I said, it came out end of November, so right before Christmas, and right before Thanksgiving. So a holiday, like they released it for the holiday. But yeah, very delicious beer. All right, so the Betty Ford Boys are an instrumental supergroup that is on Melting Pot Music, is the record label. And the Betty Ford Boys consist of Frank Sinatra, who is from Austria, Dexter, he's German, and he's from Stuttgart. That's what it is. I couldn't remember off the top of my head. From Stuttgart, Germany. And then Suff Daddy is also German. He spent time in Berlin, Dusseldorf, and then as well as Sydney, Australia for at least a year, maybe more. Actually, while they were creating this Melting Pot Music in Cologne, Germany, they have this thing called beat barbecues, where they have these shows where it's just instrumental hip hop artists, you know, like the chill hop, lo-fi, boom bap style of artists. And they have these beat barbecues where all these artists get to put on their show, and then people come, they eat, they listen, they drink, and it's a good time. Based on the pictures, it looks like it's a really great time. And the three of these guys decided, when they met at the beat barbecue, they decided to get together and create a supergroup. Right around then was when Suff Daddy moved to Australia with his girlfriend. So they created this album through the internet, and it was released. I'm trying to remember when this was released. 2013. So they created this album through the internet, but then Suff Daddy and his girlfriend decided to move back to Germany, and right when they moved back, this was really gaining traction in the beat community over there, and they started doing tours. And I think it was Dexter that was saying that when the Betty Ford boys put on a show, it's a party. And definitely this is like party music. It's got a lot of great hip hop samples in it that are reminiscent. You may not know exactly who it is, but you are like, oh yeah, I've heard that before. And it's high energy, very high energy music. This is one to put on for a party if you're like really wanting to get it going. So like I said, it's on Melting Pot Music, and it's just got pretty generic labels there. It's on black vinyl. The cool, it's a gatefold. You got some cool photos of them. Let me see if I can put the best one here. Okay, so here is Dexter, Suff Daddy, and then Frank Sinatra is there on the right. And these are just scenes from some of their shows. And so as you can see, these guys like to have a good time. And I paired this one up because it's Grandpa's liquor cabinet, and this is very reminiscent of a liquor cabinet here. And yeah, they were all part. I did another episode of the Hi-Hat Club with Twit One and Hulk Hogan, and these are guys are all also have their individual releases in the Hi-Hat Club through Melting Pot Music. And Robert Winter is the photographer. He does a lot of photography for Melting Pot Music, and he probably honestly took a lot of these photos too, because he's pretty prolific in the beat community. But yeah, Suff Daddy always wears a San Diego Padres hat, which I think is pretty cool with the SD. You can always see him rocking that. The first track I'm going to play for you is called The Time Has Come for Us to Be One. And this is the first track on the album. It starts out kind of slow. They have a lot of vocal samples that they do, and vocal samples in that it's people talking like in a movie or like a radio show or a television broadcast. And it kind of starts out slow, and then it just like the beat drops, and then you really get a sense for the energy that this album's gonna bring. And so I really like that. And yeah, random samples throughout the songs, including this one. So yeah, first track, The Time Has Come for Us to Be One. So the next track I want to play for you is called Papa Was a Junkie Too. And this one is, it's got that like, I'm pretty sure it was a commercial where it was like a father and a son, and the dad's like son, I found this in your room, like, where did you get this from? Where did you learn how to do this? And the kid isn't answering, and then finally the kid says, I learned that from watching you, Dad. I learned that from watching you. And then that's the sort of emphasis of the song. And it's got a bunch of Lauryn Hill samples throughout the whole track, which I really dig. I really dig the sound of it. The drums are great on it. It's just, yeah, the whole album is just like a party song. And some of the songs are a little more aggressive than others, but they're sort of like a good collaboration in that Dexter is more, he does some boom bap stuff, but he does a lot of electronic music as well. Suff Daddy is sort of a mix of like chill hop, boom bap. He's got a little bit of everything, and he's great at picking samples for his tracks. And then Brewing Sinatra is definitely influenced by West Coast hip hop. So think of California and even some like Dirty South, which will lead me to my next song. But first of all, this is called Papa Was a Junkie Too.
Answer me. Who taught you to do this stuff? You are right.
last song I'm gonna play for you is called Tell Her. And this one has got Frank Sinatra's fingerprints all over it. It's got, I think it's like 8-ball and MJG samples throughout. And then they have like a very like Dirty South, you know, like that Tennessee or like Houston style of beat. And then about midway through the song, this like West Coast, I can't even think of what you call it right now, but like that West Coast funk hip hop that you always hear in the old Dr. Dre tracks kicks in. And yeah, it's a great song. But yeah, some of the songs, I mean, just to give you a flavor, Leaders of the Brew School, again, is the name of the album, but they have Drinking Hennessy, Making Love Good, Legalize Every MF Thing, Sippin', West Coast Shiznit, Icky, Heroin, Hero Heroin. Yeah, but it's just it's a good time. It's not something that you're gonna listen to when you're trying to relax or anything. It's gonna be pretty upbeat and want to get you going. So yeah, this is called Tell Her.
Ladies and gentlemen, live here tonight in person, we present to you.
Alright, so that was 3 of my favorite tracks off of the album. I highly suggest you check out this album if you like the samples I played. And then if you do like the samples I played and you kind of want to dive into some of the artists more, they all have a ton of solo work that they have out there. And Suff Daddy is pretty prolific. He's one of my favorite producers. He's my favorite out of the 3, which the other 2 are amazing as well. But Suff Daddy, there's just something else about him. I think it's the variety of stuff that he does, and it seems to hone in and fit my taste a lot more than the other 2 do. And as far as 608 Brewing, La Crosse, Wisconsin is pretty far away, but if I ever get up that way, I'm definitely gonna try and go see them. They seem like great guys. I follow a couple of the brewers on Instagram as well, and they just seem like they're really great guys. And there's a guy, Anthony, who's like, he seems like he's really into music as well. And one of the other types of music, genres of music I'm really into is like a folk music, and he has a lot of guitar playing and stuff like that. So they definitely seem like they're a brewery who is a small town brewery that appreciates music, which is right up my alley. And I look forward to trying to get some more of their stuff. I had one of their hazy IPAs that Joey sent me as well. But yeah, I look forward to seeing what else that they got. So until next week, listen to some new music and try some new beers. Cheers.